stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's the handwritten letters from home. It's the sleepless nights alone. Newborn baby you left at your wife. It's the red, white, and blue lay down his life. It's the red, white, and blue while these stars in the stripes. From the hills of Indiana, from the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California. Mr. Red, White, and Blue lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue while these stars in the stripes.
Hey, thank you everybody for tuning in to Battle on the Homefront. I got a great show. My good friend KP Westmoreland, Mayor of Bethany's here talking about what he's doing for the veteran community. My really good friend, Major Ed Polito, Heart of the Lion Foundation. Absolutely love that guy. He's a true American, absolute hero in my eyes, and a lot of other people. Big shout out to my sponsors, Prater Roofing Construction, Active Duty RX, Barrage Coffee, and American Wholesale Hemp. Y'all stick around for a great show. Battle on the Homefront. We're back here every week. He is not a veteran, but he is my friend, and what he's doing for veterans is absolutely amazing. Mayor KP Westmoreland.
What's up, man?
How are you, brother?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I want to get in a little bit about how, what was you doing before you thought about being a mayor, and then why you become a mayor? And
Well, I was running my own ministry, a nonprofit 501c3, and doing a lot of faith-based motivational speaking all over the country. And then, I'm really passionate about trying to get people to believe in themselves and to stretch and to expect better and more for their lives. And so I was approached by some people wanting me to run for mayor. I did not have aspirations of being the mayor. I had no aspirations of wanting to be in politics or city government. My dad, when I was a kid, had been on the Bethany City Council. After I was elected, I learned that my granddad had been on the City Council of Bethany back in the 60s.
So you come from a pedigree.
I guess so. But, I decided to do it, and the thing that really hit me was because I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it. I'll support you. You do it. I'll campaign for you. I don't want to do it. And then somebody said, your heartbeat is motivating people and being a motivational speaker and stuff like that. What better platform than to be able to motivate 20,000 citizens, and that's the population, just under 20,000 for the city of Bethany. And that's when it really hit me that in this position you could really try to motivate citizens to try to expect more, want a better quality of life, and try to move a city forward. And so really every day I wake up, that's kind of what my goal is how can I inspire people to want more. Of course, you end up having to deal with the political drama and all the other stuff, and you can't please everybody, but it's exciting. But that's really the thing that made me decide, I think I would like to do this, and let's see what we can do in 4 years and see what kind of impact we can make.
So what all have you done for Bethany? What have you done for Bethany that you're proud of? We're definitely going to get into and talk about what you're doing for veterans. But I want to hear what you've done, because you're running again. You're up for election again.
Correct. Currently campaigning.
Nice. You like
February 9th. February 9th
out there knocking them doors.
You know what's funny is it's not necessarily my most favorite part of this gig is knocking on doors, but it's the most gut-wrenching honest part of it, probably, because you're knocking on doors and people will either tell you, get off my porch, I don't like what you did here or there, or they want to ask you questions. And I'm completely open to, hey, ask me whatever you want to. If I have the answer, I'll give it to you. I'll tell you my perspective. And I'm not very good at campaign discussions, because you're supposed to have like the 30-second porch and hand them something and say something and walk on to the next one and see how many doors you can knock and see how many votes you can get. I end up spending 30, 45 minutes on a porch.
But they want to tell you about Meemaw's salad that she makes down the road.
Hey, man, if it's good, it's good. But, people want answers and they want to know what's going on, and I want to be able to give them that information. So we have some really good conversations. I just don't end up knocking on as many doors as I probably should. But that's what it's all about.
So let's talk about some of your achievements and what you're proud of and what you've done for Bethany as a mayor.
Well, I know, going into it, I had heard that, because I wasn't involved keeping up with a lot of it, but I'd heard that, developers and different developments and things had been kind of pushed out of Bethany, and they didn't want to deal with Bethany. It was too difficult to deal with Bethany. And progress seemed to have stopped many years ago, and they just like it the way it is, and and developers didn't want to go in there and mess with it. And so we've worked really hard to try to rebuild those relationships with people that could come in and invest in our community and have new developments and different things, and generate more interest in new sales tax revenue outsources and stuff. But that's something I'm proud of, is watching new people come to the city. There's been people that there's a lot of land, not a lot of land, but like 40 acres within Bethany that has been in a family's possession from statehood, and just nothing have ever been developed on it. And recently we watched some developers come in and purchase that property with plans on senior living, gated garden home development, as well as light industrial and office space and retail. And so those things are very exciting for the city of Bethany, because for so long it just seemed to have been stagnant. We watched 7-Eleven move across the street from Oklahoma City into Bethany at 23rd and Council, and for a lot of cities that's not a big deal. For us, that is a big deal. That generates a lot of sales tax for us. We've watched how we cast the vision of revitalizing our section of 23rd Street, our 23rd Street corridor. As a result of that, the Oklahoma Educators Credit Union contacted us. They purchased the Western Oaks Tower, which is Bethany's Devon Tower, all of 6 stories tall. It's the tallest building in Bethany. But they are currently putting several $1 million into renovating that building, and they're relocating their headquarters from Oklahoma City to Bethany, our 23rd Street corridor, where they'll be bringing probably 70 to 100 employees with them when that happens. So those are the type of things that I think, hey, that's really cool that we did that, because I can't say I've done it. It's a team effort for sure. I might be the person out there, being the big cheerleader, the hurrah guy, and trying to, hey, come on here to Bethany and all that. But in order to make things happen, it requires a pretty large team. Yeah. And I may just be an idea guy, but it's the staff and the other council members having to come together to see this thing come to fruition.
You're making it work. And what I love is, like you just said a second ago, you're like, I did not want to be a mayor. And I feel like some of the best people in political powers or positions are the people that wasn't a dream of theirs. There's some people that wake up and they're like, I want to be the mayor of that town. And I think more honesty, integrity comes out of people that was like, you know what, that would be good. I'm gonna do it, and that's even in a sense of entrepreneurship, because you didn't know what you're going into, right? And it's like, I might fail, but you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep going. Yep. And you're doing it, and I'm grateful that we're friends for sure. And you're doing some amazing stuff. And you also have a son that's Air Force.
I do. We have 5 kids, and one of them is currently deployed. He's in the Air Force.
Awesome. I got something for him.
Oh, sweet.
There you go, man.
Dude, what?
Yeah.
Man, that is awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Man, thank you very much.
From Battle on the Homefront.
He'll love it. He'll love it.
Yeah, we hope he comes home safe, and we definitely, if anything he wants to be a part of for Battle on the Home Front, we'd love to have him on the team. I know that, and I advocate strongly that transition from military life to civilian life. I know we talked at your house the other night, and I know he'll be getting out soon, and I want to make sure he's good when he gets back. So
absolutely, I really appreciate it, man. He'll love this. So thanks a lot for
absolutely.
this.
Shout out to Hooker Island Wood Company. They donated those the wood flags to us, and for Battle on the Home Front, and I'm able to do that. So big shout out to them.
Man, that's exciting. He'll love it.
So me and you and Major Ed Polito, he's coming on the show. He's on his way now.
Oh yeah, Major Ed. Major Ed.
So
you know, one of the things you'd said about not really aspiring to be a mayor or in politics, and a lot of times that can be a good thing. You know, I've always said that we're gonna make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. I'll have to admit, and there's people that he never admits when he makes a mistake. I've made mistakes. I'm admitting it right here. I've made mistakes. But I've always said, if we're going to make mistakes, we're going to make mistakes trying to move things forward. We're not going to make the mistake by sitting on our hands thinking, oh, what was a mistake? We should have got up and tried to move forward on that idea. And so we're going to try to move forward. And if we fall on our face, we'll get back up and we'll dust ourselves off and figure out, okay, what did we do wrong here? How do we fix this? And we've had to do that multiple times over the course of 4 years. But I think as a result of that, we've learned a lot. I've learned a lot, and we are further down the road than we would have been had we not been willing to make those mistakes. So anybody that's aspiring to do anything, whether it's business or politics or whatever it is, man, just go with your heart. And if don't, I'm just not the type of person. I try not to be the type of person that, you know, you talk politically. You know, I want to, let's try to do the right thing. I've always tried to do the right thing. I haven't always gone about it the right way. And that's a learning process. But just know that when you make a decision, not everybody's going to agree with you. You know, I have my thoughts of how I think things should go, and others have their thoughts of how things should go. I think ultimately we're all a part of the team, whether it's, you know, the Bethany City Council or the citizens of Bethany. We want the best for our city. We all have an idea of maybe how to get from point A to point B. And that's where a lot of the problems kind of come up, and you have the debates and things like that. But at the end of the day, we have to agree to disagree, and we have to keep trying to move our city forward. And we're you know, seeing that now. We need to be moving our country forward.
For sure.
And but don't be afraid to speak your mind.
For sure. So we got hooked up, and it's really cool. And this is one of those, to me, it's like one of them God moments. I truly felt that when we met, and we met at Major Ed Polito's house one night. He had a little dinner and a little networking party, and I got to meet you there, and he started talking about a memorial, and I was like, dude, I got to tell you about this, because literally a week or maybe 2 weeks before that, I had a dream, and my dream was to build a memorial, and we. Oh, it's so cool. I love this story. But, you know, and I started telling you, well, yeah, I had this dream, and this is what I want to do for an OIF, OEF memorial. And you're like, we're building a memorial, and come be a part of it. And so I got to be brought in with that, with Major Ed. And tell me first off, what made you want to do the memorial, and your direction on that? Well,
my wife and I and the vice mayor at the time, Jeff Knapp, were on a mayor's trip with the Oklahoma Municipal League, and we were in Idabel, Oklahoma, and they were giving us a tour of the city and their city and everything that they had going on, and they took us to their veterans museum, and it was really cool. They just had this, you know, all this stuff from people from Idabel that had served, and the different stories that they'd come home with, and we walked out of there, and it moved me, you know, and I walked out of there, and I was talking to Vice Mayor Knapp and my wife Susan, and I just said, you know what, the city of Bethany has nothing recognizing our veterans. And so I happen to, my t-ball coach when I was a little kid is now a world-renowned sculptor. And so, go figure.
He's a great guy, too.
Yeah, Scott's awesome.
I love him.
And so he had moved to Colorado, and his studio is, you know, he overlooked Pikes Peak and all, you know, just crazy story. But he's done things all over the country, sculpture-wise, with statues, and he's done a lot of stuff for veterans and all over the place. And so he happened to be the one that got the bid to be able to create the sculpture in front of our new library. And so he created this sculpture, and he was at a council meeting kind of sharing the story about it and what it was going to look like and the rendering and everything. And after the meeting, I just said, Scott, if the sky was the limit and you could create something for Bethany in regards to veterans, could you create that? What would you create? And he said, let me get to work on it. And so a month or two later, he called me and we sat down. He came to town and he showed me what his rendering, what he created. And it's a veterans monument, and it's American flag that's unfurled, flying, and it's being gripped by an eagle in flight. And it's just awe-inspiring watching this, especially when he tells the story of kind of how he came up with the different parts of it and all that. But it is not going to be city funded. It's going to be donations, and we now have a location. That was a big holdup for a long time. We wanted it along Route 66, where Route 66 runs right through the middle of our city, and so that was a challenge. But then Southern Nazarene University said you can have this corner, and it's on their campus, and it's on Route 66 and Donald Avenue, and so that's going to be the home of what the Veteran Monument is going to be. And when I met you at Major Ed's house, you said, man, I just had this dream, and you were explaining it, and I said, oh, awesome, well, I'm about to have a meeting with Scott, so why don't you just come on? And then you got to share that heartbeat and that dream, and Scott was like, well, let's do it, let's add it to this whole monument thing.
Well, my little added bonus to this was I wanted to do an Oklahoma KIA wall for all theaters, and so that's getting added in there, and like I get goosebumps talking about to have a dream and then to run into you and all that, and so I'm grateful for you. I'm excited to see the memorial and see what we do with that. And I know you're actively campaigning right now, and I want all my brothers and sisters out there to know, please get in contact with me. He's beating doors, and I would love nothing more but to have veterans out there supporting KP and what he's doing. He loves us. There's no doubt about that. So please reach out to me, and we'll get you figured out to go and help him campaign. You want to plug away anything?
Man, I'd appreciate any help you could give. I did not serve in the military, but I felt like it was a crying shame that we weren't recognizing and didn't have anything as a city. So I'm excited that we're going to have something that will last far beyond our lifetime, that will inspire. It will be something that honors those that served. It will be something that people that are serving can look at that and say, wow, that's for me, but it will also inspire a next generation to want to serve. I really believe that. And just like I said earlier, I may have an idea, but it's not me doing it. It is a team effort. You have an idea when you walk out, and I mention something to my wife and say, why don't we have something? Then we talk to Scott Stearman. He's the one with the talent to create this thing. But then you come along and you add to it. And then everybody that chips in financially to help this thing come to fruition. I mean, it's definitely a team effort.
Team effort.
Yeah, everything is a team effort.
All right, man. Well, thank you.
Absolutely, bro. Thanks, man.
Y'all reach out to me. Let me know if you want to help KP run again and win. He will win. He will be victorious. Y'all stick around.
Introducing all new, safe, natural relief. A cannabinoid-rich, clarity and focus formula when it matters most. You've got a job to do. Anxiety isn't an option. Programmed to keep you moving. A product exclusively manufactured for Active Duty RX by Cantech Labs.
Battle on the Homefront. I got my buddy, my friend, Major Ed Polito. Highly motivated.
Hoorah! You ready?
I'm ready. I stay ready. I was telling Bryce, I'm always ready.
I love it, man. Hey, what a great day to be an American, right?
That's it.
Hey, all right.
I want to hear a little bit, tell me about your service, all that good stuff. I know you got quite a story. It's impressive, and I definitely love hearing it.
Well, I got to tell you, it was funny because this past week somebody was asking me that hadn't seen me in a long time. They're like, what in the world have you been through? And it was interesting because, for me, it all started when I was 17 years of age and decided to take the greatest oath of office that I could have ever taken, and that is to defend this great nation. America is beautiful. America is great.
Right.
And, all I ever wanted to do was join the United States Army, and I did it at age 17. And, of course, ended up having a very good career. A lot of people don't even know that I served for that period of time, but 20 years and about 2 months. And usually I say 19 years and 10 months, but it was actually 20 years, 2 months. And you know what? It's an incredible ride. I will never trade it in for the world, because I learned so much about not only myself, but my love for my faith, my love for my country, and certainly the opportunity to be able to take care of my family.
Yeah. Yeah, so what... And you was in Desert Storm as well, right? You was in OIF and Desert Storm.
Yeah, and I don't ever talk about it.
I know you don't. I remember
like,
telling you that. You're like, I don't even talk about it.
Yeah, I don't even talk about it.
But you was, regardless. You was.
But I have a combat patch, I guess, it's just funny because, I don't know, that war was a lot different.
Yeah.
The American people were with us. They understood kind of what was going on with that. And then you fast forward to Afghanistan and the tenure in Iraq, and that's a lot different. And so I will tell you that there was a lot of naysayers out there. It does bother me a little bit with just these recent events with the National Guard and some of the political pundits in Washington, D.C. talking negatively about our guardsmen and how, they may be going in a different direction than their oath takes them. And I'm just like thinking, what in the world are we dealing with? We're a fragmented country, and it's a messed up country. And guess what? We got to take it back. And being messed up is... What I say is that, our morals, our values, or who we are, what we're all about, what we stand for. I mean, it's just kind of, I'm not thinking of it as a negative. I'm thinking more of it as a challenge to say, hey, you know what, we need to wake up and get back to some guiding principles. What made this country the greatest nation in the world was its people, but the substance of its people. And the thing about it is that now we cater to, individuals that that we shouldn't be catering to, and in censoring people that shouldn't be censored. And, man, that's not the freedom that I fought for and lost my leg on August 17th for freedom. And that, to me, is a very important element. I'll talk about it every day because that's what I'm all about.
Yeah. Well, I know you are. Yeah, I think, and me and you feel the same way about the interests of the nation. I heard you talking about this as well. I feel like we should take care of America first.
Correct.
110%, all the outside money going to other countries for gender studies in Pakistan and whatever. I think we should definitely take care of the home front. And definitely the soldiers are right now. It's a weird climate. It's so weird. You don't know.
It's weird, and if you want to, here's my deal to all the legislators out there listening. If you want to fund that crap, you know what? Fund it and do it in a philanthropy way.
Right.
If that is what you choose to do in funding, because let me just tell you something to all the people out there listening and break it down to you. Those leaders in Washington, D.C., and maybe they'll censor me for saying this too, but I don't really care because I've seen it and I know about it. And what they do is they send that money to Pakistan and it goes in somebody's freaking bank, and all of a sudden they're getting living large. I don't know. I don't even know. America needs to wake up because guess what? I want to live large too.
Right.
But at the end of the day, don't we want to do things right? Don't we want to be ethical? Don't we want to do the rightful things that make us who we are? And like you said, when you're on I usually use this example. When you're on an airplane, the first thing they tell you when you're on that airplane, when they're doing a little safety briefing, is, put your mask on first. Why are we putting a mask on everybody else first? And then all of a sudden we give our people peanuts, $600. Look, it's not that's not political. It's just like, who are we? Which team are we on? That's all I'm trying. I'm confused.
I know.
I'm confused.
It's a confusing time. For
and
sure.
you know what? I want to be respectful to people. I want people. Look, if you believe in this, you can believe in that. I can believe in this. But at the end of the day, we have some mutual positive disagreements. And to me, taking down my public figure page that just happened this past week. Yes, my public figure page being taken down. I had thousands of followers, and all of a sudden now, you get something like that taken down. I've experienced it firsthand. I don't like that. That's not why I lost my leg, and guess what? I'm going to be passionate about it. And to America, we better stand up, and stand up in the right way. What we did at the Capitol is
Right.
not the right way. Let's do things the right way. Get all these dirtbags out of Washington, D.C. out, because, man, I'm coming in hot, man.
Come on in.
Man.
Those politicians should have term limits.
Yes!
No doubt. Joe Biden's been president for 46 years, and he ain't done shit in the political arena besides nothing good. Nothing.
No, and you know what? That's too long.
No, that's crazy.
And all I'm saying is you're absolutely right. How about, you know what? Serve your country just like everybody else does. 14 years, 16 years max, and that's it.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is to be a career politician, that's why there's a lot of negativity and a lot of distrust, and then also a lot of not bipartisanship. And I'm going to tell you something. For those out here listening, you know what? Don't be preaching unity to me. Don't be preaching the peace thing to me, because at the end of the day, it's your actions that really are what it's all about. And for the last 4 years, actually, it's been since President Bush was around the first time. The first time, and then of course Clinton, and then Bush administration, Obama administration, Trump, and now this. I will say that, you know what, the spirit of bipartisanship is gone, and can't tell me otherwise. And I see it, and the messed up mentality of Washington, D.C. just kind of irks me. And you know what, I'm going to call it out, because it's important to call it out and say, you know what, that's not the America that we grew up with. That's not the America we love. And that's not the America that all of us that took on that oath of office, the 1%, fought for.
Yeah. I think you're one of the Americans here on the Homefront that absolutely cares about the veterans, cares about their families. And you have an organization. You're a founder of an organization. Please tell me a little bit about that.
Let me tell you. It's called the John Daly Major Ed Heart of a Lion Foundation. But before I tell you that, I just had somebody recently tell me this. And I'm glad you mentioned that. They told me, they were like, yeah, well, we see you out here hobnobbing with all these people and this and that. You know, if that's what you think I just do, then that's pretty shallow.
Yeah.
Because at the John Daly Major Ed Heart of a Lion Foundation, we're there to provide mental, physical, and wellness support to our nation's children, our America's veterans, and certainly our first responders. And we do that in various ways. Again, mentally, we take care of people with suicide and with the other things that may be out there that people need support on. We don't actually do the work. We refer them out to some people that are experts in that and that subject matter. The other thing that we do is we do, on the physical side, we're doing a lot with the prosthetic technologies, getting our veterans the best thing that they can get, and making sure that they have access, meaning that they know how to navigate the system, navigate how to get a referral. And I will tell you that the military doesn't, to their detriment, they don't educate people on some of those things, on how to really navigate the civilian sector effectively. And so when they get out, people don't really know where to turn to, who to connect with, because what happens is when you leave your home of record, then you return back. You're not just returning back to what you thought you were returning back. There's a lot of people that's changed. There's a lot of things that happen. So at the John Daly Major Ed Heart of a Lion Foundation, our third pillar is really an important one, and that is wellness. And wellness to me means making sure we're physically fit. Look, I love that you're doing a show. Why? Because you educate, you motivate, you inspire, and you're also doing something purposeful. And I will tell you that I've had quite a few vets, man. The vet community can be very dirty and can also be very catty. And also, they could be, too, and I've experienced it, so I'm not saying anything new, but I've also experienced the fact that that there's some jealousy there. And so my thing is, I'll give you an example. Do you want me to be sitting on a corner with a sign that says, hey, give to me, I'm a veteran, which is not where I would want to be, or that individual should be? Or do you want to be somebody that's successful, that gets up every day, that has a job, that is motivated, that has a radio show that inspires? That, to me, is the essence of who we are and what we're all about. And that is what America was all about. Hard work, dedication, motivation, inspiration, and the can-do attitude to making sure that, you know what, faith is driven by our faith, our love for country, and certainly our love for our families.
Yeah. What's that flag mean to you?
Man, that flag, when I look at that flag, I look at a lot of things. I will say this is what that flag means to me. It means that my father took the oath of office to defend this great nation. He was an immigrant from Colombia. He came to this country. That's how he got his citizenship. Vietnam era veteran, and guess what? He taught us to get up every morning. He put on those combat boots, didn't speak the language very well, but he was a successful individual, very well decorated, fellow Purple Heart recipient, and I love my dad to death. And the thing about it is when I look at that flag, that's what I look at, is the history, whether it's positive or negative, that we've learned from things that have happened, from the monuments to what Ronald Reagan talks about in his inaugural address, Arlington Cemetery, that there are bodies there that are buried there for the ultimate sacrifice made for our freedom and for those that defend this great nation. That to me was what that flag tells me. What it doesn't tell me is you can go out and riot, burn it, act up, be negative, talk down about your country, not understand your nation, not understand its people, that, at some point we've got to have, rules and regulations and abide by the rule of law and all of these things. And that to me is what I look at when I see that flag too, is that all those negatives are not what this flag is all about.
Yeah.
That's where all those negatives is what this flag stands for.
Yeah.
And stands against. And that to me is what America's all about. And that flag right there, those colors, man, I bleed red, white, and blue.
That's it, baby. That's
You know what I'm talking about. That right there.
Hey, plug away. Tell me, JDME, tell them how people can. And we're doing, and I was just talking to KP.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so excited about the memorial. What
Yes.
we're doing with that is so powerful. I'm grateful for our connection because I was able to connect with him with that, and a dream of mine is getting to happen. And so I'm very grateful for that. But please plug away, JDME, Heart of the Lion Foundation. People donate, and also y'all are selling merchandise on there as well to raise money.
Yeah, we're
T-shirts.
doing a lot of great stuff. So go to jdme.org. We've got golf balls, we got shoes coming down the pipe. Bubba's 33 Texas Roadhouse is involved with us.
Awesome.
Encore Golf Squares. We've got a bunch of different people coming on board. But again, our foundation's doing some great work. It's a great plug, and I appreciate you giving me a little bit of time to just talk about something that's very important and dear to my heart, and certainly making sure no one gets left behind on the field of battle is what it's all about. I came in a little bit hot with what's going on in our country.
It's crazy though. It's it's passion, and I love passion. So you don't have to
passion,
apologize
but I
about
also
it.
want to tell you that it's passion worth fighting for.
For sure.
And our country right now is in a time of crisis. And I mean, don't talk about unity and peace and all of this stuff when we're not actually going to do it.
Yeah.
And that to me shows that from one administration to the other, we need leaders that really care about this country and care about our people, and more importantly, care about our veterans. And that's what I stand for. That's what you stand for, and that's what this battle on the home front stands for. So glad to be on your show, brother.
You're gonna have to teach me how to golf pretty soon, right?
Come on now.
This summer.
April. No, you're gonna get on this. You're gonna get on the links in April. We got a big event.
I'm ready.
And you know what? You'll be able to do it, and it's going to be cool. You'll be able to hit a golf ball, and guess what? It doesn't really matter whether you play for score or not. It's about getting out there and being around your fellow
that camaraderie,
veterans.
that brotherhood. That's
yeah.
y'all know I advocate strongly on this show. I think that camaraderie and that brotherhood, when we lose that, I think that's a big part, and you know this, that is a big part in the 22 veterans a day that commit suicide and the 30 a day that die from pharmaceutical abuse. And I feel like that camaraderie, that brotherhood for what you're doing, other organizations, that's how we fight it. Doing 22 push-ups a day on camera to get social media likes ain't doing nothing. Get involved with JDME. He's out here. This is how we fight veteran suicide and pharmaceutical deaths, through organizations that care about veterans, because as veterans we know that camaraderie, that brotherhood, it saved our lives over there. It can save our lives on the home front, my brother.
Well,
thank you.
And then one last final point.
Come on.
You know what? The wounds of war are hidden.
Yes.
They're not always exposed. For all our viewers out there, remember that. You know what?
100%.
Just support our veterans. Say welcome home. But also say, you know what, thank you for your service and your family's sacrifice. That's all we ever ask for.
110%. And I usually tell, when people say that to me, I say, thank you for being an American worth fighting for.
That's right.
Because I mean it from my heart. Thank y'all for tuning in to this show. We'll see you next
Hoorah!
week. Hey, great show today. Thank you, everybody, for watching Battle on the Homefront. I greatly appreciate y'all. Big shout out to my sponsors, Prater Roofing and Construction, Active Duty RX, Barrage Coffee, American Wholesale Hemp. If you're a company and you'd like to support me here on Battle on the Homefront and continue helping my show grow, reach out to me, scan my QR code. Let's figure something out to get your company on the show. I'm grateful for every one of y'all. See you next week.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's the handwritten letters from home. It's the sleepless nights alone.